I first found out I was adopted. I was about 6 or 7 years old. And as I remember it, my family says this is not how it happened, but as I remember it, my cousins were playing double dutch and I was teasing them and grabbing the ropes. And one of my other cousins said, "That's why you're adopted." So I ran in and I asked my mom, I said, "Am I adopted?" And my mom said, "Well, yes, where'd you hear that?" And I said, "Well, does that mean I don't have to listen to you?" And so that's how I remember finding out I was adopted. My mom and dad, they loved me and they supported me, and they always, they shared everything that they had, that they knew, which was a closed adoption, so there wasn't much information. And they always hoped and wished that I would find my biological family.
I was 17. I was in a very abusive relationship. I was working. I was living in this little old shabby shack, and him and I separated for just a little while. And at that point, I got raped, and they broke in. I don't know if it was one or two. And about a month later, I found out I was pregnant, and I thought it was his. And then I thought, well, boy, I got raped. What if it's his? I didn't believe in abortion. I went ahead and carried my baby. And this abusive man, he has hit me in the stomach once, trying to make me miscarry, and thank God he didn't. I went on to have John. I gave my baby a kiss, and I prayed for him. And I asked God to protect him. Lord, did he ever? And that's how come I didn't abandon him. I just did what I thought was best to make sure he was protected. I remember holding him, and he was just a beautiful baby. And I knew what I was gonna do was gonna hurt me forever. I didn't know if I'd ever get to see him again. When I gave him a kiss and said that prayer, and that was the last time I got a picture of him when he must have been about a year old. And he was still beautiful, looked very healthy. I never imagined he'd be the person he is today.
I am doing the best I can not to break down in tears, because I guess, for one, the feeling that I am gonna meet my biological mother and be able to see her face to face is not something I thought would ever happen. And then to know that she wanted to meet me and she wanted to see me, it closes a gap that I have had for many, many years, thinking that there was something else, when all along, it's not that I was rejected, it's that she made a decision to protect me. And knowing that I was not only loved by my adopted family, but I was loved by my biological family as well. And I think that the sense of gratitude and the sense of appreciation and the deep sense of belonging is so overwhelming to me. And I didn't know that I would ever feel that.
I don't believe in abortion, and it was my first baby. He was my first baby. I mean, a mother's love, you can't describe that. I didn't name him, and they took my baby, and that was the last I seen of him. My mother lived in Miami, and I was up near Fort Lauderdale, and I didn't tell her for a while. And she knew I was pregnant, but I ended up traveling with him when I was pregnant, and I come back. And I don't remember much, but I know my mother was upset at me for doing what I did, and I explained it to her, but she still wasn't. She didn't talk to me for a while because I did it. She was like, "You could have gave him to me," and I was like, "No, Mama, I did what I did to protect him." Actually went to Unsolved Mysteries about him and 2 sisters of mine that were missing, and they wouldn't help me. And you know, it wasn't during that time. Ancestry DNA wasn't out at that time, and I didn't know what name to look for, so I prayed. And I stayed in prayer with John. And it was him that contacted me because I had prayed that I was like, God, before I die, you know, I don't want to be on my deathbed before I met my son. And he's answered that prayer.
I posted a picture online and on DNA Detectives, and it had thousands and thousands and thousands of likes. And I had search angels, people that are research specialists for Adoption Reunion. They reached out to me, and this one lady really stood out, and she happened to be from Charlotte, where my wife and I were married, and her father was a preacher, and she had watched a sermon or two, and she felt impressed to help me. And on a Friday night, I was just getting up to speak in the Virgin Islands. She reached out online, U.S. Virgin Islands, and via Zoom, and she said, I think with the information you have, with you being able to find a biological second cousin, I think I can help you find your birth mother. The next day, she said, I think I found her. I have a pretty good idea of who she is.
He messaged me on Facebook, and he had some information about my aunt and some of her family and my dad had just passed away in May. And he asked me
to build out my family tree, doing some research. It would be really helpful to me if you let me know your mother's maiden name. You can Google me and see that I'm a legitimate person, because I know that's strange, somebody making that kind of request, what's your mother's maiden name? And the response in the morning when I woke up, I didn't think anything of it. I actually thought I'd get no response. Sometimes when you create this narrative in your mind that you're gonna be rejected, you accept rejection that hasn't even come yet. And I accepted rejection and it had not come. And she wrote back, she sent a message, and she said,
I lost a son many years ago.
And I wrote the search angel, like, what do I say? Do I say, hey, I was adopted, you're my mom? And she said, well, just ask her, what do you mean you lost a son? And I told her, I said, I wrote that, well, what do you mean you lost a son? And she responded,
I said, I had to give my son up. And he told me when he was adopted and where, and I thought, oh my God, you're my son. He was like, wow, I think you're my mother.
From there, she said, let me get my composure and let me give you a call. And when she called me, she immediately knew that we had found each other. And she told me in that first conversation, I've never rejected you. I just didn't know how to find you. And I knew you were gonna find me one day. And that began a journey, and we were in the middle of a pandemic, and I didn't wanna take the risk, but just as the days went on, we just didn't want to put it off. We wanted to see each other and meet each other face to face.
Thankful that he reached out to me, and I love him. I've never stopped loving him. I've never stopped loving him. From the first day that I've always prayed for him. I don't know, I maybe just be sitting here holding him so tight. I don't know if I can say very much, other than I know that God is a miracle maker and what he's done, and I know about John's accident, and that God's been with both of us through all my trials and tribulations, and whatever he's dealt with, he's been with both of us the whole time. Our granddaughter. Oh, wow. Yeah.
There she is right there.
Oh, I gotta be careful now. I'm a little off balanced. I need to take my glasses off. You took yours off.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
My strength was gone, I needed hope. I knew alone I could not cope. I could not bear the weight of sin without you.
Look at you. We do look alike a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, can you believe it?
No.
Oh,
You were
goodness.
such a baby. Just a baby. Oh my God.
Oh.
Your grandmother's about to have a fit in here.
I bet. Come on. We'll go meet them.
Come on, Wyatt.
Look at young Wyatt.
Sarah. Oh, you were just a baby.
Come here, boy. Good to see you. Look at you, man. Good to see you. How you feel?
Now I think I'm gonna apply for this
Yeah.
Let me say hey, Dwayne and Sarah.
No, my granddaughter. I want to see my granddaughter.
There's Big Papa, Sarah, let me say.
Yeah, that's okay. 'Cause I was short for her.
Pretty girl. How you doing, baby? Good to see you.
He said he was gonna leave y'all. I'm like, no, you're not. No. Let me get you in here, your grandmother. She's about to have a fit.
We're reuniting. Come on, cousin. You all right, cousin?
No, man.
Come on, man. We're almost there.
Boy,
Just hold, just hold on. Just oh wait, you are.